What is up, guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm running the same team, but in today's video I'm going to show you how not to play the lead matchup METAGROSS versus MAGNEZONE. There's there's so many different ways you can play it, like 4 or 5 different ways you can play that lead matchup, and I'm going to show you the 2 worst ways. Okay, I'm going to show you the 2 worst ways because yeah, at this point in time, this was a couple days ago, I was still learning that stupid lead matchup. There's really no great way to play it because you can't really beat a MAGNEZONE unless they play poorly, like they don't shield, but there's definitely a lot of ways you can minimize your damage, and I'm going to show you what not to do. Okay, so let's just get into it. In the very first match, we're going to see what not to do. So, what I learned is the best way to play against a MAGNEZONE is wait for them to throw the first charge move, and then don't shield the first charge move. Granted, you'll most likely get hit with a wild charge, but you will survive it even without the best buddy boost. You'll still survive. So watch what I do here. I don't shield, perfect. But then I was scared, at this point in time I was scared of another wild charge, but it's totally pointless to shield because they're most likely going to throw a mirror shot because it's just a waste of energy to throw a wild charge when you're that low. Now, yeah, I didn't know that at the time, so I wasted a shield on a mirror shot, and the good news is, even if you don't have a best buddy boost, man, it's like a tongue twister, METAGROSS, you'll still survive that mirror shot. So if you don't shield the wild charge, you get hit, and then you don't shield again, you will still have enough health to get off your meteor mash, and if they don't shield, they're going to take a huge chunk of damage because they already are 1 stage debuffed. And then they'll most likely switch out, or they'll throw another wild charge, in which case you wasted all their energy, and then they most likely will switch. If, let's say like in this case they switch, they gave you switch advantage, that's awesome. But if they throw the second wild charge and knock you out, that's okay because you still can come in with Dragonite and kind of whittle them down, or they'll switch out, but you'll have an energy lead with your Dragonite. So I'm not saying like you're going to win the match every time because MAGNEZONE lead is really tough against this team, but don't play it like I played, okay? And you're gonna see in game 3. So yeah, I was about to lose here. So again, saving storage, I just force quit. I didn't force quit. I just stopped the recording. But in game 3, this is game 2. In game 3, you're gonna see another scenario of what not to do. Okay. So METAGROSS lead. Let's see what I do here. I should go for the bait, but I decided to go for it. I find that most times your opponents do shield. Like, it's like a 70-30 split. They most likely shield, but what I did was I took advantage of that CMP like switching bug that like really shouldn't be in the game. Because that was a CMP tie, my METAGROSS should have stayed in, but I'm taking advantage of the game right now just because whatever. I don't know if they're going to change it, so I might as well adapt to it. So I decided to switch out into a Gyarados, and if that was an Earthquake, that would have been huge because it's double resisted by Gyarados. So that move could turn out to be amazing. If they decide to go for the Earthquake like I did and you tank it with a Gyarados, they wasted all of their energy and you don't need to waste a shield. It just could be a really good scenario for you. But even if they throw Meteor Mash, you're still resistant to it, so it's not like the worst charge move to take. So yeah, thought that was an interesting play, and it actually does work out here in this case because we do win this match. So they come in with Waterfall Gyarados, and that's really good for our Dragonite because we resist the water damage. So I love running into a Waterfall Gyarados with our Dragonite, especially because this one, I think this one might be a Hundo. I don't know. I forgot the Hundo IV or CP Gyarados. I'll put it on the screen below me, just so you can kind of keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so we knocked that one out pretty much no problem, and then we go with a Dragon Claw, and I think our opponent at this point kind of gave up, so they didn't shield, even though they had a shield. So we take game 2. So we're 1-1, and let's watch this horrendous play by me against a typical Asian, which is a funny name. So yeah, MAGNEZONE lead again. Now watch what I do here. Now, knowing what I know now, I should just farm up, don't shield. But let's see what I do. This is the danger of shielding first, because I have people ask me, why don't you just shield first? And again, I went for the bait. Not the worst play, but I still think I should have just waited. But watch what happens. I decide to shield in case it's a wild charge, right? And then I get baited with Mirror Shot, which is the worst because now like they can throw 2 wild charges and then dip out, and they can most likely beat me. So now I don't shield. So this is like the worst case scenario. I get baited and then I don't shield, and I go for the Hail Mary, but it doesn't land. And so now they can throw a mirror shot and knock me out, which is most likely what they'll do. Yeah, so they do that. And so now they have a lot of health still, and they can probably get to another wild charge. But it looks like I beat them to it. So I don't know what happened there. But coming in with Dragonite helps because you're not as weak to electric as Gyarados. So and because Dragonite has such a high attack stat, get this. A Dragon Breath from Dragonite does 50% more damage than a Dragon Breath from Gyarados. Now you might think that's a lot. It is a lot because Gyarados does 2 damage. It doesn't get stab, which is same type attack bonus. It doesn't get that stab bonus from the Dragon Breaths, whereas Dragonite does, and it has a higher attack stat. So instead of doing 2 damage per Dragon Breath, you're doing 3 with Dragonite. And when you have a debuffed Magnezone, that is a huge, huge difference. So I like to come in with Dragonite. Even if you need to build up energy, I don't think it's worth it to build up energy with Gyarados. I think it's just better to go with Dragonite. That's the safer play. So yeah, that explains that. And now we're gonna get hit with a Meteor Mash, and we survive it by a hair. That was insane. We still had a pretty healthy Dragonite in the back, so we would have won that match anyways. But that was pretty interesting to see. So there you go. Game 1 and Game 3, don't play. If you need to rewatch it, do not do that with Metagross. The best thing to do is just farm up, let it hit you, and just throw your Meteor Mash and hope that they switch out, or hope that you land. Maybe if you want to throw an Earthquake, go for it. Maybe they won't shield, and maybe you'll knock them out. Even better. That actually might be the better play. But either way, I think it's better just to save your shields, because if they go for the bait and they don't land it, you can start throwing more charge moves at them. So, it gives you some more windows of opportunities if they, misplay it. Anyways, Togekiss, Ancient Power, not going to do any damage, so that was awesome. And we have, come on, what's coming in next? We got Garchomp. Okay, so this is, not a great matchup, but I never shield the first one because this one does less damage than the second one would, obviously because we're getting debuffed now. So now I'll shield the next Sand Tomb. And I'm hoping I can get a charge move off, but I decided to switch. So I'm hoping to catch it off guard, but they stay in, which means they're probably going for an Outrage, which is why I'm going to shield. So it is an Outrage, so we're going to feint it down with... Oh, they actually switch. So their Garchomp is no longer a worry for us. And we can do a double crunch at this point, so this is awesome. They're most likely going to shield the first one. And this will not KO us no matter what it is. It's going to be a Meteor Mash, but that'd be funny if they threw an Earthquake. But anyways, we're going to get a shield here. And now it's just going to be a matter of trying to get to that second charge move, but I decided to go for Earthquakes. I forgot I had energy built up. So I decided to try to make them think I'm staying in and then catch them off guard with the Earthquake, because I don't know if their switch clock was up. And then their Garchomp goes down. We'll do a little instant replay on that. So yeah, Garchomp is down for the count, and we take Game 4. So now Game 5 against Amateur Hunter. And we're gonna go with Dragonite. We got Dragonite lead. Let's check the CP. Okay, perfect. It's not a hundo, which means we do 7 damage per bullet punch. So they switch out, and they have a Snorlax. Now I like to stay in now, knowing what I know now. I like to stay in with Dragonite versus. No wait, they switched out, so I switched in. Obviously, sorry about that. But yeah, so I go for Hurricane this time because I notice a lot of times they don't shield, but I think it does take so long that if you do take that long to go for it, they might anticipate it. So sometimes it's better to build up to a Hurricane and then go for the Dragon Claw. And if you get a shield, perfect. But this is a pretty good matchup for you anyways, because Dragonite is so powerful. You should win this matchup, given a number of different ways you play it. You could still pretty much win. You might have to shield once, but you're gonna win it. So we get our switch advantage, which is good. And they're gonna come in with Metagross, which will knock us out, but we can come in with Gyarados now. And we should be in a good spot here because we'll just go Crunch. We'll tank this first Meteor Mash and then kind of analyze the situation to see if we do need a shield. But I'm just going to not shield that first one and throw the Crunch, and this is going to land. And interesting that they saved the shield. They come in with Dragonite. Okay. Well, we're sitting pretty because we have a shield, so I don't know. I don't know if they would have had a winning condition here. Unless my phone crashed or I lagged. But other than that, yeah, this is looking like a GG's for us. So that is that. That is all she wrote for today's episode of Go Battle League Premier Cup. Thank you guys for watching. We go 4-0 despite going against a MAGNEZONE lead. That's just crazy. I usually never win matches against MAGNEZONE leads. Despite I played bad in one of those, in the second one we still won, so that was, I'll take it. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And then in the next video, you should hopefully see me playing better against the MAGNEZONEs. But yeah, some good stuff coming up. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.